So let me tell y'all, I have an internal alarm. So even on Saturdays, I start waking up, right? On time, around 5-ish time of morning. It's quite. But anyway, so I'm waking up, and I start waking up, and I was like, oh man, it's Friday. And then all of a sudden, I was like, it's not. It's Saturday. So y'all, I almost did. I jumped up with a dance in my heart because it was Saturday. I had a dance in my heart because it was Saturday. Hey, Faith. I was like, I was like, I gotta go to work today. Sorry, I'm all up in your face. I was like, I don't. Hi, hi. I said, I'm always up. I don't really sleep late. People know, no. I don't really sleep late. So I even when I want to sleep late, I don't. Sleeping late for me is like 6:30. Then I feel like, oh, I slept in. Hey, D'Angelo. Then I be feeling like, oh, I slept in. Yay. So let me tell y'all what I did at work. Y'all be so proud of me. Hey, Latanya, how are you, lady? How are you? So I was nice at work. Y'all gonna be so proud of me. And then I had a snarky moment in my niceness. Okay? Have to tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I have to tell the truth and shame the devil. Oh, this is such a cute. See, I'm not. Now, Chicago Public Schools, I'm going to say CPS because I know, y'all be thinking Child Protective Services. But CPS, they're off. And a lot of the schools are off this week. But because my network likes to use days off for students for us to do fucking PDs, we have to go in Monday and Tuesday. So everybody else is out. Trey, what you doing up? You still up playing games. I know it because it's what, 4 o'clock in the morning before you. Oh shit, I gotta charge this thing. So because they use a lot of those days for us to be for us to do shit. They so we have to work Monday and Tuesday. But the good thing is, a lot of our students, they have little brothers and sisters who are in CPS, right? Which means that a lot of them ain't come to school. Right, when do you leave, Faith? I was going to ask you that, because ain't you leaving this week? Just want to put on this. This Juvia's Place lip gloss is so cute to me. All right. So let's get started. So let me just first tell y'all something irritating that they did at my job. And then I'll tell you something nice I did at my job. Okay? Okay, you fly out Monday. Ooh, exciting. This is what they did at my job, right? So my job is big on surveys. They love to send a fucking survey, y'all. A survey for this, a survey for that, survey. They just love doing this shit. So they send us a survey talking about class observations. It was nice, but it wasn't. Y'all find out. So they sent us this thing about class observations, right? Talking about, we're gonna. And so what they say in the thing is, so the first thing it says is like, hey, classroom observations, something about it. I forget what they want to call the shit, but it's an observation. It's you coming in here and being critical. And so then they go, what would your preferred cadence be, basically? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever. So, I'm like, once a month. If that shit, why need to see your ass once a month? But okay, whatever. So then Then they said, so then as you read down, they said, okay, well, we're going to be doing weekly observations. How does it make you feel? Are you excited? What? And I'm thinking, why the fuck did you ask us the first question if you was going to tell us what you going to do? Why? Why the fuck did you even say this if you already knew this was going to happen? So you might as well just send us an email saying, hey, be prepared. Starting now, we're going to be coming in classrooms at least once a week. Yes, yes, they observe your class and then they give you feedback. Now, the thing about this is it's so bullshit. It's such bullshit because they tell us we're not looking for perfection. I know. We getting there, Latanya. I know about that. We gonna get that, girl. I was gonna talk shit about that. I'm going live on the other channel to talk fragrances tonight, and that's one of the things we gonna talk about. Uh, okay, so we gonna talk about. I'm about to get in trouble on Saturday night. I'm about to be in trouble because I'm gonna talk shit about a whole lot of stuff. Let's have Saturday Snark Fest on the Saturday Fragrance Snark Fest. Hello, goodbye. My unpopular opinions. Also about to Snark Fest. I'ma be in trouble because I'm gonna talk shit. Let's talk Kylie, Beyonce, and all of the new stuff. I'm putting Bay's name in there so the Beehive will find out. Because you know they got an algorithm. Beyonce's being talked about. Beyonce's being talked about. I want them there. Okay. So, right? So, but let's have a little conversation. All right. So, anyway, so I said in it, I said, you know, even though they say they're not looking for perfection, but excellence in the classroom, it's really about perfection. Now, here's what I'm going to say that they do that's interesting. Okay. So, like, for instance, B's coach, her DOI, Dean of Instruction, has been coming into her classroom twice a week. Like B said, you ain't got time to implement shit before they in there. You just didn't I say December 1st? Faith, people need to keep up with my I should give me a fortune teller outfit because you remember I told y'all my great uncle was a fortune teller. I wish I could have got one of his outfits when he was doing his Swami routine and just put it on like, here are my predictions, right? Here are my predictions. Okay. I should get me like a big ass old school turban, right? Exactly, Drea. So like B said, it's you in here so much. How do I adjust? How do I do anything? And here's the other thing about it, and I've read them. It's always super critical. Like for instance, everybody could be working in her room. Now B got big classrooms. She got 30-something kids in these rooms. They could all be working. They'll see they're all working. Well, 3 people were talking. Her little DOI. Now, here's the thing. We work in charter schools, right? So charters, except for my department where they demand that we are licensed. So, you know, we have to be either licensed when we come in as a special education teacher, or we have to be in the process of getting licensed. We have to be in the program, right? Gen Ed, you ain't got to be licensed. And this is across the board in charter schools, right? So a lot of these motherfuckers ain't licensed. B is getting licensed because I told her, I said, if you're going to do this, you got to get licensed because that gives you choices. She my child. Of course she's doing it. So she's in the program to get licensed, right? These motherfuckers ain't licensed. No, they act like you should have the 100%. But here's the thing. The person who sent the DOI, they was cussing her ass out when she was in the classroom too. So that's the problem. It's like they're so used to it. Used to be they had these kids on a tight leash, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and my charter school, in order to be, hey Mark, in order to be, if you are a learning specialist, a special education teacher, you have to be licensed. Now, gen ed teachers in charter schools do not have to be licensed, and I think that's pretty much everywhere that they can get away. They can have a certain percentage that aren't licensed teachers, and like I told B, I said, see, this the problem. They so used to these unlicensed hoes that ain't can't really move around, and they're kind of stuck. I said, you about to be licensed. I said, and I'm licensed. Fuck with me. I can move around real quick on your ass. I can move around on your ass real quick. So, and I told B, I said, and if we go into Chicago public schools, right, you immediately get a bump up because the charters can't pay as much. They pay more. And see, what happens is a lot of people from the suburbs work in charter schools in the city because they can't, because even the charter schools pay more than the suburban schools do usually. So that's why. You either get people who are from the suburbs who want to teach, and they can't really move around because you got to live in the city to work for Chicago Public Schools, right? Hi, Desmond, I'm good. So all this being said, this girl been coming to her room 2 and 3 times a week. Now they saying they're gonna come in once a week, and they're very nitpicky. And like, mind you, you might be in for 10 minutes. Like apparently, I got a bad observation by the network because whatever I did, she didn't like. My thing is this: are you teaching these kids every day? Because I get these kids to learn. So my method, especially in a self-contained class, you can't judge me. You really can't judge what I'm doing in a classroom because you have no clue what I'm dealing with my different levels of students, and what I have learned works for them. So apparently I do now, which is, like a bell ringer. And so my goal is that they're trying. I'm not checking it. And then, so what I do is I just go around and stamp them saying, did they try, right? Now, the thing is that I can look at them as I'm going through, and I know which ones that are getting them right. Do I see good work, right? Right? This woman was like, well, I don't understand what she was doing. She wasn't checking. How the fuck do you know? See, I'm so good at math, you don't even know what I know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if I don't know. Oh, because I wasn't checking them off incorrect. I was giving them practice points. So my thing is, I want to see practice because that means I'm getting you that stamina, the stamina to actually work, right? Because so many of these kids, especially when you're dealing with freshmen, are lazy, and these teachers have been lazy, so therefore they don't have the work skills. So part of mine is every day, this is what you do. You come in and you practice and you try and you show me what you know, so I know where you're at. But I have to do that because I have different levels, and I can't just teach this level because this is what y'all think. So, and I don't give a fuck. They'll get over it because what I will do is teach my students, and they'll come out of my classroom knowing a lot more than they did. And so this year, because it's been a big thing, like the previous years, they always act like they don't remember nothing. Oh, these motherfuckers gonna remember because I'm gonna drill their asses until they know some shit as I'm teaching them other things. So, I was like, so anyway, this is all going on. So my whole point with this was that I told him, I said, perhaps you should give people the chance to adjust, and give people constructive feedback, which means if you feel like they're not doing something or they need to work on something, give them some fucking suggestions, because that's what they don't do. They just be putting out, this is what I saw. It's like, so how about this? How about this, right? Yes, they send. No, they don't follow up. They send us an email. They send us. So when they do an observation, they do we get this email. Now when the network comes in, we don't see the observations. Only the leadership team sees our observations. They don't show them to us. My boss said she didn't want to show it to me because it would upset me. I said, girl, first off, you got me. I really need these people to understand. They got me fucked up. I'm not that concerned. All it does is, but what I have been saying is like, they have to understand that when you're talking to people, we have choices. And see, it used to be my network had these kids so tight on discipline that teachers stayed there because they didn't have to worry about the discipline. This was the spot, and I'm just being honest. If you didn't want to deal with these wild kids in public school, you went here because the discipline was so tight at these schools. These kids was moving like soldiers in the school that they didn't worry about these kids. It was yes, you had this type, all you had to worry about was teaching because the 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 discipline problems, all the issues we have now, they didn't have before the pandemic. So it was all, so you could get away with this, right? So people would stay because it was like, oh, I don't want to go to this wild, I don't want to go to these wild neighborhood schools. So now people were staying, right? And you got the brigade that won't go get licensed, which makes no fucking sense to me because before the pandemic, they paid 100%. They paid 100% for you to get licensed. Do you know I would have been licensed if I had known that about the church? If I had known that about them, I'd have gone gen ed and I'd have got licensed a long time ago. But it was like, but anyway, so right. But see, here in Chicago, it's not, no, it's kind of opposite. The charter schools here are kind of not that. Because this is a choice, so parents will send their kids to charter to keep them out the neighborhood schools, and then if they get kicked out of charter, they wind up at the neighborhood schools because the neighborhood schools are so wild. See, the neighborhood schools were the wild ones. These are my network was the one that had them on lock, right? Right? Exactly. So a lot of these people been here for years, ain't licensed, we figured out. Because, like, you can look up people's licenses. I don't know if they know that. They don't know this. So it's like, so we sitting there, and so all that being said, now you're saying this. And like I told her, I said, so what's going to happen is people that are licensed ain't going to take this too long, and they going to move around. Because why if I'm gonna be stressed out at a job based on y'all gonna be observing me all the time, and here's the thing, in a union school, because of course we're not union, they make their own rules, they can only observe you twice a year. They can do an informal observation and a formal observation. You get observed twice. Now might get they could come in a couple more times and maybe look. I think maybe you can get like throughout the year maybe 2 or 3 informal observations and 1 formal observation. That's it. And it ain't this we just gonna come in your room and you don't even know we coming. With a formal observation there, right? Yeah, exactly. Of course you should. You better keep that licensure up. So it's like, cause matter of fact, I gotta turn in my my CPDU hours. Let me find this thing I got for being. I gotta find this. A couple of things I need to put in. But anyway, because I'm about to do some virtual ones. I'm gonna let that shit run, and I'm gonna give me some virtual CPDU hours. Plus, my network, I actually can get hours through them, so I need to be doing that. Right. Right. The formal observations are set up months in advance. No, they just come in whenever they want to. And we got this whole system, y'all. And I know people with education can be like, what? We have a greeter system that we are we are graded on that too. So you're going, what the fuck is a greeter? Okay. So let me tell you what a greeter is. And then we're going to get when I got nicer work. So the greeter system is, which I kind of think is kind of cute, but I don't think we should be graded on it. It's supposedly teaching kids some social skills, right? So the greeter system is, now the problem with the greeter system is they knock really low. So they're supposed to knock on the door, and sometimes they knock too fucking low, as far as I'm concerned. Wait a minute. And you're supposed to have a student come out, step outside, so you can keep teaching. They're supposed to step outside and welcome the person into your classroom. Now, before then, they had a whole script these kids had to do. It was like super structured, right? Now you're supposed to just, it's supposed to be a little bit faster, right? So basically, this is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go out, say hello, introduce themselves, say welcome to whatever class, like welcome to Miss Caillouet's class, right? And then they're supposed to say, yeah, today we're learning, and tell them what they're learning about. And then I didn't know this part. Then they're supposed to have some kind of social interactions, like say, how are you doing today? Yes, yes. I have never heard of this before in my entire life. I kid you not. This is the shit they do. I kid you not. So yes, they're the Walmart greeter of your classroom. So for yes, my answer to you is yes, right? Okay, Desmond. Here we go. So here we go. So that's the thing that happened. I'm like, so, and I had to learn what the fuck this was, right? Girl, this is high school. This is high school. We doing this in. So this is the thing. This is their protocol. And if the greeter don't work out, so if the greeter don't work out, don't do their job right, we get a ding for that. Yes. So if your greeter don't handle, if they don't feel like the greeter ain't right, then they get in trouble. Yeah, we get a ding for that. Just so you know, this is how I work in my school, right? Because when I got there, wait a minute, when I got there 2 years ago, this is my third year there, right? And they were like, and you're a greeter. And I was like, what the hell is a greeter? You know? And the funny thing was that when I first came back after the pandemic, I was the only new teacher. So all the other people knew what the fuck they was talking about. And have a bad habit of not really dealing with new teachers well. You know, things like that. This shit, girl, probably next year. Because now let me say all this to say. Now remember, I said a lot of people who sat there because of the discipline matrix that they had. And these kids, listen, these kids were soldiers. Listen, before the pandemic, before they got dinged for saying they was so racist in these schools, the hallways were pretty much silent between classes. Now I think the kids do too much in the class in the hallways, but who's ever that's kind of, you kind of socialize, right? No, they would stay into the right and get into classes, stay into the right and get into classes, right? So I think a lot of A, because some of them ain't licensed, so they can't go to CPS, and B, it was easy because your day was, the people who could handle it, the stress of the observations and stuff, I guess, was less better to deal with than trying to go to CPS. Plus, they couldn't work there. A lot of them can't work there because they ain't licensed, right? However, the people who are licensed, you ain't got to take that. Like I told B, I said, if I'm going to be stressed out, if they're going to put all the stress on all these observations and all the stuff that you're not going to have to deal with when you go union and CPS, and make a minimum of 15,000 more than you're making here, why the fuck would I stay? Because if I'm going to be stressed, I need more money for the stress. If you're going to stress me out, at least I can spend that money to de-stress. Right? And they do act like the ops. They really do. And to say it's not stressful is fucking ridiculous. I'm just saying, if you gonna stress me out, I, and I'd probably get more because I'm a special ed teacher. And before I leave, see, my plan is before I leave, I'm just gonna make sure, because of course with when you going into there, the more you have on your license, the more you make, right? So I'm already on the master's track because I got a master's. Hello. Then I'm about to go get some more um, endorsements. So then I'm gonna go get some more endorsements. So what I'm trying to do is make sure. So I'm about to go see about getting my. I'm about to reach out to ISB, make sure that I can do this, and I'm about to go take my test. I'm gonna work on taking my test. Hi, lady, we haven't seen you in a long time, so I can be and get my endorsement in gen ed high school math. So, because with that endorsement, they're going to pay me more. I'm going to get an endorsement in middle school math because all those endorsements will bump up my salary. So, if I do this right, so that's why I'm about to sit here for a hot minute and work this all out before I make this move. I could probably make about 20,000 more than I make here. I can deal with any stress you got coming for me. And by making sure that I am endorsed in math, then I won't even have to worry as a special ed teacher. Them trying to get me to teach something else because it's like, listen, y'all know I'm a math specialist. Let me do what I do, and they'll let me do what I do. Because when you're a special education teacher, a lot of times they be like, well, can you teach 3 things? No, you really want me to just teach this one, and they'll go with that, like, okay, right. Yeah, I'm about to stack all them endorsements I can get stacked up. What else can I get endorsed in? That's what I'm looking at. And I might go back to school and get another degree. Just because. Because, look, I'm an educator. Let me start paying my student loans correctly, and I'm going to do my 10 years and get the rest of that money knocked off of me anyway, right? Have a great day. Right. No, I don't have ESL. B is gonna do ESL. She's already decided she's gonna do the ESL. She's gonna get hers an ESL. I don't think I could do that one. I don't think I could do that one. I had to think about that one. Whew. All right. So anyway, now we've gone through the bullshit at my job. Let's talk about me being nice in my job. Now, first off, let me say something about these people that's so hilarious. So, a couple things are happening around my building. And I'm like, so y'all can't even just say fucking thank you to people, right? So we get one of these surveys asking us about things about how we could bring joy within the staff, right? So I said, why don't we just have a day, some time where we have, like stations of self-care, right? And I said, and you can tap into the staff to do it. Like somebody could do yoga, somebody could do, because, we have the fitness people there. They could do something like that. There could be some things that people could be doing to enjoy themselves. As opposed to trying to take us to something, we can use the school, right? Get the kids out. Or, one of these days when y'all got us on these fucking PDs, and then do something like that. Have like stations that they can do, have a little food, whatever, have stations, and then that's it, right? So they did that. Now, here's the thing about that. You ain't got to say, oh, thank you so much, say anything to anybody else. But just a little acknowledgement, even if y'all send me a message like, hey, that was a great idea, we're going to implement it. Thanks a lot. That would be nice. However, that's not what they did. It came off like they came up with this great idea to do this and everybody loved it, right? Because they did do it. And everybody loved it. It was a great day because they did like yoga, um when somebody did fitness and you got to choose a round because it was like 2 rounds of it, an hour a piece, and you could go do it. I was like, because when I saw it, I said, damn, this looks kind of familiar. Ain't this kind of what I said to do? So I'm not saying they had to tell everybody, oh, this is a Miss Caillouet idea. Absolutely not. But just the acknowledgement on the low would be fine to say that. Now, the other thing is, I sent an email out. I said, you all should do this because I said one of the things that you find with these children is that they need something. They need, they don't work on, I need good grades. You need good grades. A lot of them don't care. But what I have noticed, and this is true in any school where you have uniforms, they really like to have a dress down day where they can come in their clothes, right? So I came up with, I said, this is what you all should do. I said, maybe you all should implement this. And it was basically because we had this thing called good standing, which is as long as they're doing this, this, and this, which means they're not being tardy and all these things, you're in good standing. Your GPA is correct at this level, 2.5 or above, you're in good standing. And it's a cycle of 2 weeks, right? So what I said is, I sent somebody this message. I said, what you all should do is, these kids like to, be able to wear their own clothes. So tie in being in good standing with getting a dress down day. I said, but make it random so that when you pull the day, because, when you do it once a month, you could pull a day and then they could be in good standing that day when you pull it. And these people will get a little wristlet, a thing for like 2 days later to be able to wear their clothes. I said, by doing that and making it random, then they will work to be there because they want to wear their clothes. I said, and then the ones who are doing well on other things, they might get 2 days during the month where they can do it. Good way to get them. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Right? And so apparently they had a meeting that I wasn't in because, as a learning specialist, I was doing some work, right? Why did they say this? Why did the culture team, the dean, say, oh yeah, we're working on something like that about good standing, blah blah blah. Yeah, we're just working it out. So I said to myself, I sent it, I forget who I sent it to. I said, so they went into a leadership meeting and said this was their idea. I said, ain't that cute? I said, ain't that cute? I was like, wow, okay. So and I found that because I know damn well that nobody come up with this. And I'm telling you, I sent this about 3 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden they're talking about doing it. I kid you not. That B said they talked about it and how we're working on this plan for good standing. Yeah. Yep. Sure did. I said, okay, so this is how we roll around here. But it makes sense because this is a space where everybody wants to get recognition and they want to, it's all about, being that person. And, so I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how we roll. So let me sit my black ass down, shut the fuck up. Because I was about to tell them a few more things they should do around there. But you know what? I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to be quiet. Either that, or every time I do some shit, I'm gonna CC my principal. If I send anybody a fucking email about anything, I'm gonna send the shit. Even though, and it's so funny because I think I sent some stuff to the principal, and I think I've actually seen it being mentioned in something because I was just bored one day, and I was thinking like, because I feel like one thing I had noticed in this school is that there's so many programs for high school students to get into that are doing well through the schools, right? Because I did some of them when I was in high school, that are college readiness, college bound things where these were colleges, you know what I'm saying? So I started looking it up and I found a whole list of them. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing stuff about it. I'm like, these motherfuckers really will not even say thank you. Unless, of course, I guess if you one of they, one of the people that hangs out or whatever they do. Because I said, okay, I see how y'all roll up in here. So I'm shutting the fuck up. I'm shutting the fuck up. I'm like, okay, so I see the pettiness is real. And like I said, I'm not even asking them to be like in a meeting like, oh, Miss Caillouet said this. Who. But at least be adult enough to say, hey, thank you for that idea. We think we're gonna run with it. And email me. Or just speak to me about it. But you know what? And this is so funny. This is so interesting. Because isn't that what y'all tell me on here not to do? Because people listen and then run with your things before you can even get to it. Well, some of the stuff is strictly for the staff because I feel like our staff don't like it's about the morale of the staff, right? So some of the stuff is strictly, hey, this is what we should do as a staff. Because I was gonna tell them what to do for Christmas. Because they talking about having our holiday celebration. I was like, yeah, okay, y'all can have that shit. I don't want to be around them like that. You're right. If I do it, that's what I have to do. I'm a blind CC a bunch of people. CC and blind CC, so people know. So I'm like, okay. This how we do things around here. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let me tell y'all about. Okay, so let me tell you what I did nice, and then I got some prize because before. See, this is a perfect time on Saturdays and Sundays for me to just have a chat with y'all. Because everybody sleep. You see, Kari sleep. Everybody sleep. All that. Hold on. Sorry, my nose is right there. Let me rub my nose. Ooh. Let me start putting this stuff away. Speaking of that, let me take my elderberry gummies. I got all my stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna move. Well, I already know I'm gonna move because I want more money. I want the money. I do. And I want the protection of a union. I want union protection that says that y'all just can't arbitrarily decide some shit without that ain't in my contract. And say, well, this is why. And even somebody who's been there a long time made the statement is that my principal has this thing where she feels like if you're not willing to give as much as she is of your time and all this other stuff, then you're not in it. And what I mean by that is like, if they say, well, and like I won't even tell them how to fix this whole situation because they really can't get people to do activities. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't get people to come and like chaperone things a lot. Like homecoming, they were struggling to get chaperones, right? And I get it that they don't have the budget to pay people because of course when you union, that stuff you got to get paid for. All the extras you do, you get paid for. Like, like when we do report card pickup, we do that long ass day. That ain't normal, because we have students till 12:30 and then they make us go to meetings, right? So we'll have a 2-hour gap and then we have to be back there until 7 in the evening and then turn around and go back to work the next day. My thing is, real talk, if you want people to do that type of day, then you need to do it on Fridays. That's number one. for report card pickup. That way we not coming back into the job. If I'm off at set, then I ain't got to come back here and deal with these kids the next day. But don't nobody, I ain't saying that. But what I was going to tell my principal, because she gets to make these decisions, since we charter, you can't give money if you ain't got the budget to pay people outright to do things. Then what you need to do is give us some time, give us some comp time. And it ain't got to be on the books. It can just be school is over at 12:30 on Fridays, and you and people who do this will get to leave with the kids, as opposed to sitting there for 3 hours in meetings. So as opposed, because it's a long day when we on Fridays for us, because like for instance with me, I will go into meetings right after my prep, because advisory, we have to go into a meeting as a learning specialist. So we have a separate meeting. Then we got maybe like 20, 30 minutes for lunch. Kid you not. And then we're in meetings until 3. So meetings, but here's the thing. School is out at 12:30. We have to help clear the school, but then we have to start back to meetings at 1. So really you don't even have 30 minutes to get your lunch. And they act like, oh, well, you could do it during your prep, but prep is only 35 minutes on those days. And it's just a mess. And then, so it's a long day on Fridays. So I said, you should just give people comp time where they could just leave on a Friday if they help out with events. I ain't told them that. Y'all figure that shit out. You just ain't gonna get people, right? Right? Right. Exactly. So you ain't even got to do it. You could just do that, and they would have to tell you in advance, hey, so it wouldn't be all these people taking the same Friday off. You could even just say, so many could sign up for the Friday off based on you have this comp time. They would get more people to do it than they are now, because like they barely had anybody there for homecoming, and it was tough for them to get anybody to do it, because you're asking people to work a full day. And that's the other thing. It was on a Friday night, so we work until 3, and then and in meetings and everything, and then you want us back at a space by 5:30 in order to help with homecoming. And they ain't even got. And here's the thing about it. It's not like we have janitorial staff that helps puts it up and breaks it down. No, they want us to help do that, because they don't have janitorial staff to help with it, because they are union. So they ain't working them hours because they got to get paid. And unless they feel like doing it, they ain't got to do it. Because they paid. They So anyway, all that, right? Right. If you give people the options, we take certain options. You ain't gotta pay me in cash. Give me some time off. I prefer that. Because if I could walk out on a Friday and not deal with these damn meetings, ooh, that would be gold. Be like, I'm out. Because I promise you, me and B would do it. It'd be like because we take that same Friday out of here, and it's nothing but to go home and rest before we get the kids, or run some errands before we have to get the kids at around 4 o'clock. That would give us like 3 hours where we could be doing something. We could go have lunch. We could do what the fuck we wanted to. So anyway, that's that. So now this is what I did. They were having basically a Friendsgiving this Friday, right? So they brought in food, which I want to tell them how they doing this wrong, but whatever. And this is the funniest shit ever. They should have never told us this. So I'm gonna tell you what happened, and I'm gonna tell you what they came back with, and I'm gonna tell you what I did good. I'll be giving y'all the real stories, right? That's why people don't fuck with me, because I'm long-winded as a fuck. Okay, so they call themselves doing Friendsgiving, having the food come in, right? And so So they start the food, right? So I kind of went in there because a lot of times I'd be like, I don't know if I want this food, but today I forgot to bring me some lunch. Because normally when they doing food, you know, I always bring some food just to be as a backup. Just in case the shit don't look right, I can go and I can eat and be happy. So I do that quite a bit. Every time I be like, okay, yeah, I'm about to bring my food. But so now they got the food out there. So they had, just they had fried fish, some chicken wings, and then they had like ham. I think, yeah. So as we're starting to go through the line, and some people's in front of me, the people who are over operations, the dean of operations and everything, assistant principal over that, right? So, well, they call themselves paying for it, for the school does. Now I had an idea for this, but I'm not gonna tell them yet, unless I CC every fucking body in the school building. Um, so I said, "Hi, Marilyn, haven't seen you in so long. How are you?" And so I said, well, so when we going through the line, so I'm getting a piece of fish. Now the girl in front of me had got a piece of fish and was taking a chicken wing. Was maybe probably gonna take two chicken wings, right? The the assistant principal says you can only take one meat. So the girl is like, oh snap! So she trying to put the chicken wing back because we'd have been told now you can only take one meat. And I think they only want people to take like one or two chicken wings. I kid you not. Because whenever they do this, they never buy enough food. Buy extra meat. You ain't got to put it all out at the beginning. You put some out, let people get it, and then so because of course you have people who have to do things that come in late, like the culture team, because they have to deal with getting the kids out to school. Wasn't no food left for them, y'all, except for the sides. Common sense tells you. I'm like, do y'all know how to do this shit? First off, buy extra meat because people are going to take the meat. Only you, right. Don't get a lot of ham because we know a lot of people don't eat pork. So just get a little bit of that. But you should be getting extras on the chicken and the fish because that's what everybody's going to eat. They had one, maybe they barely had a pan, right? I questioned it all the time. And all you have to do is put some out and then put the next round out, right? It ain't this difficult. But every time this shit happens, it's like just so honest to be said, they're giving us the Q1 update. And what they said was, and this is after this, and I'm saying, really? So what they said was the budget for the year for the first quarter, we're supposed to use 25% of the budget. They only used about 11%. So it ain't like you was gonna be over budget if you actually fucking bought enough food for people. No. No. Hey Brenda. So if y'all already doing good on the budget and you're calling yourselves giving a Friendsgiving, wait a minute. There was no desserts or anything. Nothing like that. Now you telling me you was 14% under budget and y'all couldn't took 2% and giving us a really good Friendsgiving? I was like, y'all sad. This is sad. I can't even fuck with y'all. Right. No desserts, nothing. Now, if they had asked me, ain't no pumpkin, ain't no sweet potato, ain't nothing. Ain't a pound cake, ain't a cookie, nothing. Now, let me tell you, if they had asked a person like me, I would have told them they could have done something like a really Friendsgiving, which they could have provided the meats and then said people bring in sides and desserts. And if they didn't want to do that, then whatever. It could have been a real Friendsgiving. Bring snacks, whatever. Bring something to share. And it would have been much better. Much better. What? Uh-oh, I hope you feel better, Marilyn. But yeah, so that was that. Okay. So in the spirit of Friendsgiving, right? I mean, it ain't this difficult, right? You could exactly. You can even do it like that. You could say, "Okay, English department, y'all going to do this. Y'all do this." We got enough people that could have made this shit happen. Okay, cha 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 cha. So now, with all that being said, then so in the spirits of being nice. Now, when we finally gonna get to where I was nice at work, and I know somebody who watches this later on, is she ever gonna get there? Okay. So what I did was, y'all know I've been decluttering all these fragrances. Some things just ain't gonna sell. Some things, the Elizabeth Arden, stuff like that. So I went through and the Middle Easterns, because that's not a hard hit on my. So I took quite a few of them that were still here, and I put them out. I brought it, some Bath and Body Works that I didn't want, all that kind of stuff. I took it, not the good shit, not the Orianas, not that kind of stuff. But stuff that I'm like, and no, the kids didn't want it, whatever. So I went and sent it. So I took it there and I sent an email to all staff and said, "Hey, happy Friendsgiving. In this workroom, there's a lot of fragrances. Take whatever you want. Hope you enjoy." So that's what I did. So then two things happened. A couple of things happened, of course. And so, I was like, hey, y'all can have all this stuff. Because the issue is, and this is just being honest, if I declutter and it's still sitting here in the basket, it's still here. So I was like, let's get rid of some of the stuff. So I cleared out pretty much the basket, because it was like this stuff that I felt like really wasn't going to sell, because we know who I am. Some of this stuff people ain't into. So, okay, cool. So I did all that. So I said, I gave. So then, first off, they're like, "Oh my God," because it was quite a bit. I don't know how many I sent. How many I did. It was at least 20 something bottles. Because y'all know I've been decluttering, and I had some left over from the first declutter. That I hadn't gotten rid of. So I took all that. Yep, cleared out all these things, feeling good about my life choices. So a couple of things happened. First off, they're like, I guess when people were in there, they're like, "Oh my God, it's quite a bit." Yeah, it is. So it's like, how can you give up all this? I said, well, I have a lot. Don't ask me how fucking many I have, because you gonna be like, "Oh my God." Now, a few people, like I said, have found me on TikTok. So anyway, so they're like, there, okay. And then this one woman, oh my goodness, she's like, "Oh, you have a lot. Hey, Bashan." She was like, "Oh, you have a lot. Where do you buy them from? Do you get them?" Alta said, "No, I don't. No." I was like, "No, I don't really pay retail, right?" And she's like, "So you have," she starts naming off, the regular schmegulars. And I was like, No. She's like, well, what do you have? I said, honestly, you probably wouldn't know a lot of stuff I have. No shade. I'm just being honest. You ain't gonna know. We can't discuss fragrances if we just can't. Okay, and it's no shade. It's just really because honestly, for me, I am not even a person with a big. Y'all know I'm not even a person with a big collection that really has a lot of the stuff that's popular. I don't have the good girls. I don't have the stuff that's at Ulta and stuff. So I really can't. We, I was like, you probably don't know a lot of stuff that I have, and I'm just being honest. so, so then she was like, and then I said, and then I felt, cause she kept pushing. Well, how many do you have? First off, don't worry about what I have. Be just get what you want. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like people then want to find out shit, right? And the reason why is to say, well, if you could, what do you really have? Okay, let me just say this. Just take the gift and run with it. Just take the gift and run with it. Exactly. I'm like, trust me, girl, you ain't got nowhere near what, and it don't matter. I'm not asking you. So then she's going on. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I didn't mean to sound snarky, right? I was like, I wasn't trying to sound snarky. It's just, I probably don't, you know. And then she's like, wait a minute. Then she goes, well, and then she really, and I think part of it is people really want to impress you with some shit. I don't know why. I don't need to be impressed. I don't care. So then she's like, well, like I said, I really just don't have a lot of things like that's at Ulta or anything like that. She's like, you don't? You haven't? I said, no, I don't have like the Gucci's and no. It's like, you don't have Aqua de Joe? No, I don't. Not saying it's not a nice fragrance. It's just not some I own. And she was like, and I was thinking, girl. So what I told her, I said, listen, if you're looking for some things, just let me know. And I can tell you where to get them probably at a better price. That's all. So as opposed to worrying about what I own, just, hey, I just told you I don't pay retail. If you go pay, just flow with that. We ain't got to go into what I own. Because if I pull out a picture, and I should send a picture to everybody who's asking these questions of me about my fragrance collection. Here's a fucking picture, all staff. So that's how I can give you all these. Fuck. And so, because you remember, I already had somebody in my job who found one of my TikToks and did the infamous, what am I wearing? Wanted me to smell them and tell them what they were wearing. I said, I think you got some oud on. It smells like it's probably a rose and oud, but I don't. I barely know what the fuck I'm wearing. Sometimes I'll be like, ooh, this smells good. What did you put on today? Come on now. Uh, are y'all still talking to me? Because I think I might have, because somebody post up something, right? Okay, so the last thing I can see is Drea said, first of all, get out of here. Right. Okay, that's the last thing I see. So if there's more being said, somebody hit me up and let me know. So that means YouTube is telling me to get the fuck off. But yeah, so, and then somebody then goes to B, a teacher that knows B. She got there late, I guess, and she felt like there wasn't anything left because the early people took 2 or 3 bottles. A few of them was taking a few bottles. Hey, whatever. I don't care what you do. I just put it out there. However it works out, it works out. So she's like, I said, well, no, I don't. I said, well, I mean, I got a few that's for sale still. And so she's asking, I was thinking, that's what I thought when y'all talking. Okay, so I'm gonna get off here in a second. So I'm just gonna finish this. So she was asking about it, and I was like, I was like, yeah, I still have some that are for sale. I said, but I was thinking, but I don't think she's going to know the ones I have for sale. Because what I have left is Oriana, Whiskey, Creed. I got a Creed, the Irish Tuberose. I got stuff like that. I'm thinking, you're probably not going to know what I have for sale. And those are my more expensive ones for sale. So, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So that was that on me being nice. So we've gotten to the whole point of me being nice after all the shit talking I did about my job. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here because I can't see the rest of the and I should have brought my laptop down because I should have known that I was gonna lose the chat because YouTube can't stand me. They like, bitch, you've been on here for an hour. You've talked enough. Wrap it up. So I'm wrapping it up now. Thank you all for hanging out with me. As always, we have a good time. There will be a Saturday Snark Fest on the other channel. I'll set it up. I'll schedule it because we're going to be snarky tonight. All right, y'all. Have a great day.